Morning. Totally unplanned, unscheduled show today. Thought I'd just pop on before things really kick off. A la maison. That reminds me. So I started watching a show randomly on what day is it? Say Sunday. Probably about like Tuesday night. War of the Worlds series. I know there's been a load of War of the Worlds. Hang on. War of the War of the Worlds TV series. So there's been so many iterations of War of the Worlds, but there is one that recently came on. Hello, Grant. Why the hell are you awake? What's going on? Are you feeding your baby? Good morning, sir. Thanks for joining me. You may have some opinions on all this, Granty. War of the Worlds has got Gabriel Byrne, that Irish dude that's used to be in everything in the early noughties. But it's an amazing, amazing series. My wife doesn't really do sci-fi, doesn't really enjoy it. And we stumbled across it the other like on Tuesday. And I tell you what, very good reimagination of the War of the Worlds franchise. It's done 3 seasons. So we thought it was like new. Started watching it, and then my wife was like, "Oh, do you know there's 3 seasons?" Like, hell yeah! You know when you stumble across a series and then you realize that you're years behind. It is incredible. I really do recommend it. There's a lot of French subtitling because I think it's an Anglo-Franco like dual production team set in France and London, and it branches between the two. But there's loads of links. It's so cool. It's a totally different reimagining of the Wells book, but it's awesome. Hello, sir or lady. Tube Lance. I'd imagine your name's Lance. I could be wrong. But yeah, I have been watching WFP this morning. It's nearly 11 o'clock here in the morning. And it started at 8 a.m. our time. The 9 a.m. our time. Sorry, 8 a.m. our time, 9 a.m. in Copenhagen because they're an hour ahead. So we were watching it. I had to go to the gym, but I got up to watching the men's final heat of the workout. That workout looked awful, as in hard. Mertens wasn't struggling too much with the 40-inch box jumps, but the overhead squat with a single dumbbell is probably, I'd probably argue it's the biggest testing movement that we do in our repertoire of movement patterns. It tests everything, and it's so much harder than regular overhead squats, like infinitely harder. I saw Jelly Hoster struggling. Obviously, the taller athletes are going to anyway, but that position he was twisting, which I found I had to twist a lot when I used to do them. I don't do them anymore because it absolutely destroys my knees. But yeah, nice setup, good workout so far. It annoys me that Kringle comes out and says Worcester, United Kingdom. No, Glen May, Isle of Man. Thank you. This thing. Represent that. Anyway, I know they're doing it, but yeah, what's with the Tudor Magna thing? Yeah, like throw that in a workout and you're screwed. Like that for me, the only thing that could make that harder is actually I don't know. Do you know what? If you've got pistols, no, it would be harder. The only way to make overhead single arm dumbbell squats harder is make it a pistol. But I remember back in the day the videos of people doing pistols on top of kettlebells and shit, and overhead squats, regular overhead squats with the barbell pistol version. Grant, give that a go if you're still listening. Single leg overhead squats. That's fun. But yeah, really good coverage. I've watched it. And I think we always underestimate how. Hang on, let me pull it up for a sec. I think I can pull things up and show it. I don't think strikes come around with this sort of thing. I'm sure people won't mind me showing this. So who are we on? The Open at the moment? Is this the... Oh, it's the teams. Okay. Elite team. Cool. But no, I've liked the coverage. I've really enjoyed the conversation when I've seen it. Again, I watched this morning. I watched a couple of bits yesterday. But I'll be honest, I've been a little bit occupied elsewhere with life. So my wife is in the late stages of, that stage of labor where you're not quite going to hospital, but any hour it could be, right, let's get in the car, let's go. So all the physical shit's happened other than let's get to hospital. So everyone's on standby. So that's why I thought I'd jump on a bit earlier today. And also, I think I should be going a bit earlier. We've got big things happening in the new year. But that'll all be discussed coming soon. But a bit of a redirection, refocus. It will be end of March. I started doing this on this channel, so it's only been 10 months or so, nine months actually. Funny enough, we actually conceived around the same week that I started these shows. So if anyone's struggling to start a podcast, I'll start a show on a stream. But yeah, all fine. Before I forget, yeah, so WFP's looking good. I have enjoyed it. I saw all the athletes. They don't look too tired. I know I saw some of them talking about being fatigued, and quite rightly. I mean, it's the week before, well, a few days before Christmas. But yeah, we've experienced the same thing at the gym. I've seen numbers sort of creeping down slowly with the heavier sessions. This time of the year, people just want to move. It's always been a funny one this time of the year, especially with the Open coming around. Obviously, in certain parts of the world, it gets darker, it gets colder, it gets more miserable around now, which is why Christmas is such a big deal in Northern Europe. And in Europe, it was, trees, lights, gather around the fire, hot food. You've survived the winter, sort of. That's why I've never really got the whole hot weather Christmas thing. It's very different from what we're used to. But coming out of that, you've got like 7 or 8 weeks to train for the Open, which is a nice little cycle. I think if you what we got here, be butt friendly, little disconnected. How did the 2 swim events go? I'll be honest, I don't know. I think that was day 1, I think, wasn't it? I saw Campbell did very well. I think she won both of them, maybe. I think Kringle came 5th in one and then 6th in another. But I think Campbell did well. Jen Muir did well. But the Brits did well. And it's nice to see, and that's something we're going to talk about over the next few weeks. It's lovely to see now we're being represented in the UK at the top tier. We've never really had this much of a contingent at the top level. We came close a few times. One of Kringle's coaches, Will Kane, came very close back in the day, 14, 15, 16. Still an incredible athlete, and he's out there with a WFP. But we've got such a decent community of people from the top down. When I say the top down, I don't mean down in status. I mean down in the pyramid of things, the spear. We've got an incredible community over here in these isles of ours, and we need to express that and show it. So that's potentially something coming very soon. But yeah, generally speaking, I've liked the WFP. I've liked what they've offered. I've liked, we had a conversation with Roger a few weeks ago. He's a funny chap, very funny chap. Scandi, which is awesome. I've always got on with the Scandis. Yeah. One, like WFP, tick. I think we've covered that. Firstly, I want to give a shout out to Gerard at Elite Gym Maintenance. Now, let me tell you, I sent an email a little while ago and it auto-corrected maintenance to something else. I felt like a numpty. But Elite Gym Maintenance, get involved. Gerard saved my cojones last week. So last Thursday, I was skiing and I may have broken a cord on the skier because I'm such a lad. Now, Gerard, without any questions asked, I spoke to him and I said, "What do I do in this instance?" And he said, "Leave it with me." 2 days later, arrives new straps and a video of what to do within 2 days, and it was done within 5 minutes of arriving. So, big shout out to Gerard for doing that. Absolute gent, and what a stallion he is. Go and check out Elite Gym Maintenance if you haven't already. Go and give it a follow. All the top gyms in the UK use Elite Gym Maintenance as a service provider. So get in contact, and he will be more visual over the next sort of year or so. So check him out and go follow. Got some very good tips globally. If you need tips and tricks for your maintenance, for your servicing that you can do, go and follow the page. Yesterday, we had an in-house throwdown at the gym. And I'll be honest, I absolutely loved it. It was pegged as more of a hybrid because we wanted to get more people involved in those throwdown feels from yesteryear. My gyms, before we obviously closed in at the end of 2020, we used to periodically do throwdowns, and not my blueprint. I just followed a blueprint that we'd had for years in CrossFit gyms. Keep it simple, keep it straightforward, keep it on time, and make people work hard. That's all you've got to do. You don't overcomplicate shit. You don't go over time. You don't try and be a smart ass with it. You keep things simple, you plan effectively, and you execute, and you get everyone together and you express their fitness, and it works. So we've been planning this for a little while. We ended up having 24 people. So we had a pairs competition, and because of time management, because of forethought, because of planning, because of experience from us that have done it a million times before, we ran it from start to finish on one master clock, with everyone with their heat wave times where they were moving at any given point. And it was done and dusted in 78 minutes from start to finish. They all got 3 workouts in. There was no mucking around. There was 10 minutes between workouts. Kept it simple. Everyone came in, enjoyed it, moved, worked hard, had great fun, and was out the door after 2 hours from start to finish. It's just a reminder, and I absolutely loved it. And all of us that have been doing CrossFit for a while now, it was a hark back to days gone by, and it was a reminder that you don't need to do things over the top to have a feel of what it was like. And you know, the people that enjoyed it not the most, but the people that were surprised by it were the people that had joined CrossFit in the last sort of 5-6 years, that hadn't experienced that kind of throwdown before. We get this illusion that things need to have developed further at the throwdown, and we need to add this, you need to add this, and you need a high rock sim, you need this and this. Keep things simple, nail it, get it right, make people move well, and just have that raw essence of what CrossFit is. And it works every damn time. Doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be complex. Just needs to work. And we got 24 people round. We had 12 teams. They had 3 amazing workouts. We didn't need loads of judges or volunteers. It was just a classic box throwdown. And I loved every minute. And it was awesome. There was nothing. It was just us in the gym working hard. And people, oh, by the way, I've been stigmated. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Chalk, rowers, wall balls, couple of bars, ski ergs, running, burpees. in the front door, out the back, so to speak. Just awesome. It just felt good, without overcomplicating it. So yeah, it was decent. So shout out to Dan and Erin for hosting it and running it, and it was nice. It was good. Good reminder of what we do. And also, a lot of the people there, it was their first time doing anything like it. And we did it now so that in a couple of months' time, when the Open comes around, people think, cool, something for us, which is a priority for us, getting people signing up for that. And I loved it. And I was absolutely knackered by the end of it, running around. I got a load of content, a lot of video. I might put a couple of bits up on the base Instagram channel just to show people what it's like. But yeah, all good. Coaches Congress. So another Scandi that I absolutely adore is Henrik and his wife Heather, who's Canadian. So she's an honorary Scandi. But Coaches Congress Berlin and Stockholm, obviously a bit closer at the end of January. But Berlin 7th and 8th is going to be incredible. I've been watching Patty V at the WFP today, thinking I get to hang with him in Berlin in a couple of months' time, which is awesome. And one thing that I'm going to mention is at the moment, flights, accommodation and travel to Berlin on the 7th and 8th of February and around for that weekend are really, really cheap from and around Europe, but specifically from my perspective, from the UK. You've got Liverpool, Manchester and Gatwick all flying to Berlin via EasyJet with some really, really good cheap deals at the moment for flights. Don't let travel be an issue for you when it really isn't. Get booking some flights. They're mega cheap. Accommodation is really available over that weekend. So get booked on. And if you've got any questions about ticketing, about going to Berlin, just get in contact with me. If you are a UK affiliate, please get in contact about Berlin. If you've got any questions, let me get you booked on for that. I would love to see you there because we need a UK contingent going to Berlin. We need to show up for it. Just like Twickenham in October, this is going to be an amazing event where we share ideas, we share principles, we get to move with athletes, we get to listen to industry experts and leaders. If you've got any doubts, please get in contact. You do not want to miss Coaches Congress this year. Now, where to start with this one? Obviously, there's movement in the industry at the moment. I'm not going to go into politics of leaders and buyers and all that kind of stuff because, quite frankly, yeah, we all know it will affect us eventually. However, it doesn't affect our ability to bring the methodology to individuals. That's the one thing that we have that can't be taken away because we have the methodology. You can't take it away. So we have that. Now, it doesn't affect our ability to do that. It affects the ability of everything else about being able to be called CrossFit, about CrossFit, branding, marketing, blah, 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 the games. But let's be honest, as I said yesterday, sorry, not yesterday, about 10 minutes ago, that throwdown feel at the gym, running these little competitions, being able to coach, being able to see the fruits of that coaching throughout the year, the methodology, changing lives. That's done on the local level at the affiliate. And being a CrossFit affiliate is damn important to be able to be behind that brand and feel part of something bigger, a movement globally, seeing other people doing what we do and be called the same thing as us. That's important. And that is a reason why we should be an affiliation. Good morning, Adam. Hope you're well. So there's a big picture going on at the moment, and I've been trying to every opportunity I get when I'm sat between my sets at the gym, when I'm coaching, when I'm at home, when I'm watching podcasts, when I'm with the kids, whatever I'm doing. It's this thing at the moment I'm trying to get my head around. I was talking to a very good friend of mine, Athena, the other day about all of this. I've been trying to speak to as many people as I can just to get a grip on what actually is the problem. Like, what is the issue people have? Because people are scrambling around to get a clickbaity thing, to get an opinion out there, to be the first person to put their finger on the pulse, to do whatever. But I can't quite understand what's going on. Is it Chinese whispers? Is it this thing that's just come about out of nothing? Is it an actual reason out there that we don't know about? Is it that some people prioritize and care about things that probably other people don't, and it's affecting the way that the zeitgeist is being portrayed? Is it media? Is it HQ? Is it at the affiliate level? Is it affiliate owners? Is it members being disengaged? What the hell is it? Where does all of this chatter come from? And is it relevant? Is it important at the affiliate level? That's what I'm trying to get my head around. Does it actually matter? Because on the one hand, it really does matter to me, because I preach about this thing and I tell people I'm a CrossFitter, and I've been doing so for ages. And I'm trying to get people to sign up for the Open, and I think it's January the 16th we can all start signing up around then. So I'm trying to do this, and I've been talking about this since I started CrossFit in 2011, and it's been my life, and my kids have grown up there. So people do, nobody can discredit my passion for CrossFit. So that's my little caveat with all of this. I'm exploring, and I'm trying to explore options that I don't see other people thinking about. That's what I'm trying to think, because there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of chatter, there's a lot of opinions, which is great. It's what we need. It's what we need to explore so that we can process information, get to the point that we're trying to all decide if it does matter or not. But this morning, after I'd coached, I was sat doing an upper. By the way, my split on how I train sounds a lot like other 40 or 41-year-olds. Jason Khalifa put a video out the other day of his split, and it was like, hang on, has he just copied me? Because it sounds a lot like mine, but we are the same age. So is Andrew Tate, by the way. There's a lot of 40-year-olds at the moment. Anyway, I was sat doing my strength session for the day, in the corner, like a miserable old grouch, thinking I'm double hard and I'm Mr. Muscle. Adam, you're 41. Good. And I sat there, and I felt like Oscar the Grouch out of Sesame Street, peering out of his little trash can bin, watching a class of 27 doing a high rock session. And it was a 38-minute AMRAP, right? So doing that of movement. And I'm sat there in my little corner being miserable. And I'm watching what is predominantly female. I think there was 4 men out of 27. So you got 23 women and 4 blokes. Female coach, predominantly female class. And they were getting after it, of course. They were having fun. There was some laughing going on. There was some chatter. They were having fun. And business owners all understand, if your clients are having fun at the gym, you've kind of nailed it. But I was sat there as a 40-year-old doing overhead press and flies and bent over rows. This is all with dumbbells. And I was thinking, do I enjoy my workouts as much as those women are? Do I ever have that? Do I ever have that in the gym? And I can honestly tell you, I've never had that level of fun in the gym. I've never been like that in the gym. I've never laughed around. I've never joked around when I'm in the middle of a nearly 40-minute AMRAP. Because my concept of training is very different. I go in there as if I'm going to war. I'm going on a mission, and I just want to brutalize myself in some respect. It might be like we did handstand work the other day, and I'm focusing on doing handstands, for example. That's just an example. I'm not trying to kill myself doing handstands, but I'm focused, right? And I was doing my strength training like Oscar the Grouch with his trash can, looking out at these people in Sesame Street having a load of fun. And I realized that I am the odd one out. So I'm the issue there, right? just letting you know that I know that I'm the problem there, or I'm the odd one out. Um, and then it got me thinking about the wider picture. It got me thinking about the viewers of Savon. Got me thinking about the sport. Got me thinking about the open registrations. Got me thinking about the members at the gym. It got me thinking about 10 years ago, the members at the gym, what the clientele looked like. Thinking about the two brain data that comes out every year. I'm not sure I've heard this talked about, and there's not many of you in the chat to correct me on this one, but I want to flesh it out a little bit. I want to kind of get this out. Has there been, and by the way, definitely not a derogatory term here, little caveat, has there been a feminization of the CrossFit gyms? Have we moved more towards... Hello, Kenneth. Kenneth, you're a good person to ask about this. Has there been a move towards, sorry, a feminization of CrossFit gyms? Again, not a derogatory word there. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. I'll flesh it out. And this is what I was thinking when I was watching. So, at least from my experience, my own personal experience, being starting in 2011, attending CrossFit classes, then starting my own affiliate, having a second affiliate, selling said affiliates, attending affiliates after having sold them, and being part of this industry for a long time. Watching the spectatorship of the sport grow. Watching the social media accounts growing. Just generally watching our thing here develop. And I think CrossFit is predominantly female now, as in more women participate, do, talk about, buy the clothing of, watch the sport of, sign up for the open of, attend classes of CrossFit are female. So that's one thing. The second thing, has CrossFit itself at the HQ, has the marketing, has the branding around it, has the systems at the gym, have the general feel of CrossFit gyms adapted around that move? So have CrossFit gyms become more potentially what we'd class as female friendly over the last 10 years? Now, I'm not saying that it needed to, and I'm not saying it wasn't already, because in my eyes, we are friendly for everyone. We are the safe space in the industry. You will not get a safer space than a CrossFit gym for any group of people. We are the safe space without having to say we are the safe space. And by the way, this isn't a bad thing. Might be a good thing. But I'm wondering if the voices in the industry, like mine, so I include myself here, the voices, and this doesn't mean voices online, okay? It means voices just generally at the affiliate, and in the media and online and on social media, those voices, we talk about golden era, we talk about what it used to be like, it's changed and blah, blah, blah. Is the essence of what we liked, the rawness, the chalk everywhere, the clang and bang, the loud, the unpolished, the average at best but give a shit coaching, the lack of social media prowess, the lack of refined marketing, the shirts off, the classic CrossFit feel that we talk about and hark about. Has the move towards a more female environment meant that we had to move away from that old school feel? Now, I'm talking generally here, clearly. And again, it's not a bad thing necessarily. I've heard people talking about the rawness of the old school CrossFit and the, things like throwdowns and the what we used to have. And I was sat as Oscar the Grouch in a trash can watching 27 people getting after it in a clean, immaculate way, having fun in the gym. And I was thinking, and I'm a little bit of therapy here. I, I was thinking, this isn't what it used to be like. I'm thinking, why aren't they unhappy? Why aren't they punishing themselves? Why aren't they dropping dumbbells on their toes and kicking things? Why aren't they covered in chalk? Why aren't their hands bleeding? Why aren't their shirts off? That seems a bit weird saying it about women, but you know what I mean. Why aren't there what we used to have with sports bras and that shit? Why are they, in oversized baggy t-shirts? Why isn't anyone wearing Nano 2s except me? And the honest answer is because it's 2025. Things have changed. It is different now. And I have no shame when I say this. My favorite time to train now that I'm a 40-year-old, my favorite time to train is when I train in a dark gym with heavy music on, when there's other men around me. And it's just the lads training. And I love that feel. I love training with other blokes. I love that feel. And I'm not sure, and this is where it's kind of a question out into the ether, really. I'm not sure we get that much. And again, my experience is very limited, obviously, to my experience. But do you think you see Khalipa doing it, right? And he's the exception that proves the rule there. I don't really see much from the CrossFit space where you just see groups of men throwing down and training. I don't see it. And I think it's less now than it used to be and less experienced. And you don't really see it that often. And it's never praised. It's not talked about really. Whereas when we see a lot of media around why women are coming to the gym and women's strength training, which by the way, I preach a lot. I've got a lot of female clients that I've introduced to strength training for that very reason. And my wife is a very strong woman, and my daughter goes to kids classes. So it's not as if I don't preach about that, but I've started doing a class for young lads, so teenage lads, on a Wednesday where I just want them to get in the gym, and it's a boys only class where they're venting frustrations and they're strength training. And do you know the value in that class for them is immense. And I think male only spaces, not male only space, like, but classes that are geared up towards men just being men, farting in front of each other, just shirts off, having a laugh, like that old school environment where we got to be toxic with each other. And it was where we were okay to be ourselves as men, you know? And maybe, just maybe, on the CrossFit floor these days, quite rightly, it has moved on away from that. And that kind of begs the question as to, is there an environment where men are able to do that in modern society? Because it's essential. Men need to do that. Men need to be around other men, chat shit to each other, take the piss out of each other, get on each other's nerves, sometimes have a scrap, be competitive with a dumbbell they're pressing. Like that kind of male environment is what rugby and football in America and football clubs over here, and even fucking cricket and the pub on a Friday night and at school, I went to an all boys school. I grew up with just relentless teasing and shit stirring and piss taking and scrapping in the playground and just being boys and men. And men need that. Look, think about, like, Kenneth, you're in the armed forces. Like, think about what the military is, right? It's basically that, but then you get to do the other shit as well. Like, it's a form of release for men. It's where we get to get rid of all of that, and we need to be around other men in that way. And I'm wondering whether we see much of that in the CrossFit space nowadays. Because if you were to look at the media coming out, that but with guns, yeah, exactly. In the media coming out now, which is quite right, you know, and I'm not disparaging this or putting it down. Like I said, it's essential. Look back at the media from 10 years ago. They were hammering each other. It was Rich and Dan Bailey taking the piss out of each other. Matt Chan doing it as well. Khalifa, they were all taking the mick out of each other and having an amazing time doing it. And it didn't detract from what the women were doing. The women were doing it as well. They were getting involved. And listening to Sam Briggs on Glinton last night with Garrett, she's a prime example of one that would kick it with the lads and would be part of that environment and would be part of it and didn't see it as a bad thing. I think CrossFit for me is where all of what I understand as masculinity, I can express that at the gym. Aside from being a father, being a husband, and that kind of thing, but being a man on my own, away from being a dad and being a husband, my place where I can be a man and express that masculinity to myself, not to anyone else, is in the gym. And I like being in an environment where I'm around other men and I can take the piss out of them and just have a laugh. And I think that's a positive thing. I think that is a good thing, and we need to acknowledge the fact that it is a good thing and it can be a good thing. It's not a bad thing that men are like that. And what I would like to see, and this is my point, what I would like to see is more of that in the media. And I think that's why Boys Interrupted is so good, because you see four of these lads at the top level expressing that. But I would like to see that from the affiliate level. I'd love to see it. And my one, if someone says yes, but that won't sell affiliate, that won't be good for the affiliates, it won't be positive. My question then is why not? Because it is a very positive thing. It is a very positive space for men to be in, where they get to express that. And it doesn't detract away from what women need or want or can do, or it doesn't cap them whatsoever. And I think it could be a really good marketing tool for us as affiliates. I think it's a massive market that we've kind of moved away from, or not focused on, and there is a demand for it. So yes, Kenneth, that's how you build cohesion too. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I think we've just generally, as a global society, at least in the first world, think about the Western countries, like from the US and the UK. I think, generally speaking, you hear all those terms and toxic masculinity and blah, 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 blah. You hear all this, and there's been a general move away from that kind of environment where men can be just men, be knobheads, just take the piss out of each other, just have a laugh. It's not really sexy. It's not sellable. I think it can be if you do it right. And I think affiliates could be an asset. And I think it's a massive part of what we do and offer is that environment for men that aren't bodybuilders, that don't want to go to the Globo gyms. They want to be working hard doing what we do, but in an environment that nurtures that kind of behavior. And those behaviors can be very positive. So yeah, I want to explore that a little bit further, because I don't think it's really talked about much. There's probably a reason for it. It's probably a load of shit, but it was just a thought that I had. Because I was talking to a few people about gaps in the advertising, gaps in the media, gaps in the advertising that we don't see. There was talk about kind of the marketing assets and the culture and cult and all that kind of stuff recently. And I was thinking about the gaps there. Like, what we think about it as coaches, don't we? We think about it with training. Like, what are the gaps in our armor? You know, what are we lacking? What don't we do that we need to? Where can we brush up here? What can we get better at? And in terms of outward marketing, like, who are we trying to attract? Who are we trying to retain? I think that at the affiliate level, at least, I think we need to be embracing that playful, boisterous behavior. I think we can have that back, because it seems like we've lost it over the last sort of 10 years or so. It seems that way. And I'm very happy for the people to prove me wrong here. But I'd like to see that represented online and in the media a bit more. It's tricky, because if you say the wrong thing, you're cancelled and you're told you're a bigot or you're a misogynist or you're toxic or whatever. But I think that's just lazy on both counts. Lazy labeling people like that, but lazy avoiding doing what you should do in order to avoid being labeled that. So laziness on both parts. Yeah, just my take. Right. Oh, I'll tell you what I would like to say is Ioni Boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Ioni, has put out an ad, not an ad, but a video. I think it was yesterday. Where is he? Where is she? Yeah. Where's his advert? Come on. Was called. Here it is. Right, hang on. La 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 la. Let's go. I thought that said Jesus on the front of his t-shirt. What a stud, eh? It is on mute, by the way. I haven't got it on loud. But yeah, go and check Lockloy Barbell out. Jon's new media. Go and check it out. And if you're after a programmer for the new year, go and check him out. Dieu means God. Duez. On my right, we have that on our coins. Actually, it's on the British crest, I think. God on my right, I think. That's what it says. How's Pokemon going? Good. Still going. We've got what, four days left to make it still relevant. Oh, by the way, so as you all know by now, I've got this camera. It's amazing, right? And I've recommended this to a few people this week. Jon got me onto it. It's a 4K camera, which is amazing. Right? Video, gimbal built in, blah, 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 blah. Right. Anyway, so fancy. Honestly, I filmed all of our shit yesterday at the Throwdown. It's so damn good. It's like £400. I think it's about $500. And it links up with your phone, Bluetooth. You can use your phone as like a control center for it. There's additional bits and pieces, accessories. A little while ago, I spoke to Mr. actually briefly, but a little while ago, Andrew Hiller 2.0, he recommended Ulanzi, this fucking stick. What do you call it? Selfie stick thing. But it's not just a selfie stick. It's a stand, and it goes pop, 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 pop. Anyway, I needed some mics to go with this. So I went onto the Ulanzi website, and I got these, that and that are microphones that you put on. These are the fluffy bits here, and these are all the connecting bits. This was 30 quid, so about $40, and they are amazing, absolutely amazing, right? So I'd recommend that, and I'm just carrying on Hiller's work, but yeah, Ulanzi are great. Is Jon the new young John Young Barbell? So my boy Yoni has been in this industry for well over a decade now, doing his thing. Very local. The thing you have to remember, thanks for joining us, Get James. The thing you have to remember with people like Jon and myself, we're very localized. We do our thing. I've been terrible at social media. I still am. I'm a Neanderthal. We don't really advertise. We don't have a big media space to advertise. We don't really have big dreams of going global or anything like that with our training. And we're coaches on the floor every day, and we're PTs. We're catching up in terms of media. I don't plan on becoming a super media superstar for all of that kind of stuff. But now we're getting to the point using and this is the point. These tools, right? Jon's filmed all of his stuff on that video is all filmed on one of these. The tools are now available for people that are coaches on the gym floor that have been working their asses off to be able to show off and demonstrate what they do and advertise. You think of how good Taylor is, for example, because of the platform that this has offered. he now gets to reach, and over 1,000 people get to use his programming because of that media. If it weren't for this, he wouldn't necessarily have over 1,000 people doing it. So these platforms are really damn important for people to get bigger, but you've got to learn how to use it. You've got to leverage this sort of thing. And tools like these allow for better content, and you got to experiment. I was experimenting on like a YouTube channel with 20 people on it, just trial and error, just making videos, trying in different platforms, formatting, editing tools, music, what I can do, what I can't do, what I can get away with. It's just understanding what tools are available and just experimenting. For people like me that are a bit older, obviously, than the young guns coming through, like, I've got to learn all this stuff from scratch. I'm not an idiot, but I can't get in the head of people online, and I don't know what they want to see, you know? Like, I've been doing CrossFit since 2011. I've coached I think it's close to 22,000 hours now of workouts on the gym floor. 22,000 hours. I've got quite a big bank of knowledge of stuff that I just reel off on the fly, and cues and all that kind of shit, and how to use machines, how to lift barbells, you know, where to put your armpits. There's all this information in here, but I use it on the gym floor to coach at the affiliate and my PT clients. But translating that online is a really tough thing to do. And if you've grown up just doing that, fair play. You know, it's a really tough thing to do. Hello, Zachariah Springfield. Zach, that's right, from Australia. It's overrated being localized is so fulfilling. Yeah, and I think everyone goes around this big circle. I think a lot of people get big, and then use that platform to be local, to fund being local again. So it kind of it does raise some questions about all that kind of thing. But you got to understand that different people have got different objectives, different goals, different what makes them happy. Yeah, kids will do that. Speaking of which, my third is literally any hour now. It could be that it's today. And what a day, what a date. I know the Americans flip things for some reason. But today here, it's the 21st to the 12th, 25. So 2112, 211225. Yesterday would have been great. 2012, 25. That would have been nice. But yeah, we any day now. Thank you, sir. I'm looking forward to holding a baby again, because do you know what? I never hold babies that aren't mine. The only babies I've ever held were my two. I don't know why. It never felt right. I never felt like I wanted to hold another kid. I never really wanted to be a dad, to be fair, growing up. I never thought about it much until it came along. Considering Jesus as boss of favorite name. No. For a multitude of reasons. I know you're only joking. But yeah, we've done it with the other two. We've got a kind of few boys' names, a few girls' names that we've got. Once the baby's born, we'll hold it, we'll love it, we'll get, you know, skin on skin. We'll take a day or however long it takes to pick the one that we think suits it. And one, like anyone that's gone through this will know, like the name strikes you when you see the kid and you look in its eyes and it looks at you, and things just, but it is a big deal, you know. It, like, I never thought about it until we were naming our firstborn, when she was born and we were holding it. The gravity of that choice hit me. It was like, in 4 generations' time, my descendants will know this girl, this woman's name, and it's our responsibility to name her. And the choices she makes through life, the opportunities that come around, the direction that life takes because of your name. It only strikes you when you're choosing a name. It only hits you about all of those things, and it never had before. But it's been a while now. It's been 7 years? It's been 7 years since we had our son. So it's we're a little bit further on in life, but just as keen. Yeah, we can't wait. It'll be any time now. But yeah, who was it? Who was on the phone to you the other day? Oh yeah, Gareth's got those orange ones. Mine are in better nick though. Yeah. Anyway, guys, it's coming up to an hour. Oh. And coming up to midday here. Do you know what? Do you know how much money I have spent over the years on Nocco? Limon del Sol. The sun. Lemon the sun. Lemon of the sun. Sun lemon. Do you guys in the US have Nocco? Just wondering. I know you got Fit Aid, haven't you? Oh, by the way, big shout out to Steve at Defiant, doing big things. There's big things coming from the UK in 2026. Let me tell you that for sure. I can't wait. Also, I did stigmata myself yesterday. Not yesterday, Friday. Did a lovely workout, pairs workout. I went with Big Clive. Big Clive named that because he's got a massive penis. But yeah, great workout. Bit of chest to bar. I'm throwing in a few open movements. Getting used to the volume again. But all I've done is strict work since March. I haven't really kipped too much. Obviously, toes to bar is a little bit different, but I don't really tend to do much toes to bar kipping. But yeah, open cycle starts. That started already, obviously, but we're in the strength phase, power phase, and then we'll bring that back around in the new year for that. Hey, Henrik the Traveller, greetings and good evening from the Almas family from Hoi An, Vietnam. Henrik, I'm so glad you got to go and see your daughter. That made me happy yesterday seeing you at the airport. I hope she's and you obviously are going to have an amazing Christmas. But yeah, so just a reminder, I spoke about it earlier. Get yourself in contact. Any UK affiliates that are umming and ahhing, got any questions about Coaches Congress Berlin, 7th and 8th of February, get in contact. There are some amazing deals at the moment on EasyJet. I keep getting flags from EasyJet saying they got discounted flights here, there, and everywhere. You got Liverpool, you got Manchester, you got Gatwick, you got loads of airports offering some really good flight options into Berlin for that weekend. And loads and tons of hotel options. It's going to be an amazing weekend. We've got Patty V there in the house with a load of other speakers, which we talked about earlier. So any questions from any UK affiliates or anyone else, just get in contact. I'm happy to arrange and help you out. So do get in contact, and more of that to follow over the next sort of week or so. But guys, I am off now. Next time you see me, I will probably have a third child. So I wish you all the best. I hope I will go online before Christmas, but it just in the off chance that I don't, I hope you have a wonderful time with your families and friends and eat loads. Go for a walk on Christmas Day, be active, get some sweaty workouts in on Boxing Day. But I'm sure I'll speak to you then. But if I don't, have an amazing time with your family and friends, guys. And keep training hard, keep living the dream. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.